Hey, bro.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about
Yeah,
you?
man. Yeah, not too bad. This pandemic and stuff. It's just a bit hard, but you get through it.
Okay, that's great. I
Yeah,
hope
man.
it will get better soon, no?
Yeah, let's hope so, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I was gonna ask how was it way back in 2001, the European Juniors, when you got the bronze? How's that experience for
Oh,
you? It's a
that's
long
so
time ago. It's a long time ago now, isn't it?
20 years
Yeah,
ago.
time flies, man.
Very long time. Well, we are recording now the interview. Are
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
inside? Okay. Yeah, I have a very good memory from that championships in back
Italy.
in 2001. I was under 20 in the under 20 category, but I was in the first year. So, and it was in Grosseto in Italy, if I remember well.
Yeah,
That
Italy, man.
and I remember that Mo Farah was the winner in the 5K in that
Mm,
championships. It was a very good organization, and I was competing. I don't remember well the guy who won because I
mm,
never saw him back again in some championships later on when we were senior. It was an Italian. He was an Italian,
yeah.
and
Cosimo.
yeah, Caliandro, no,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I remember now. Yeah,
Cosimo. Yeah.
he he seemed a nice guy. Yeah, and I remember that I was. It was a very tactical race, and I managed to make a very fast change of speed in the last 300 meters when I qualified for the championships during the Spanish championships in Granada in the south of Spain, and
Mm,
I was good on that. So
mm,
I changed really hard when I in
yeah,
the last 300 meter.
yeah.
So I managed to do the same in that final, and it was in Italy, and the other guy was an Italian guy, and the
Yeah.
crowd was starting to shout on him like
Mm,
really loud, really, and he passed me in the last straight, and I could manage just to be bronze, but I could win. No, I was very close to the
mm,
winner position, but I have very nice memories.
yeah.
But then when I was going to receive the medal in the medal ceremony, I found out that my T-shirt, not the one not the one with I was competing at, but the one I had to use after competing. No, the one I used for the warm up and that, and
Mm.
it was disappeared. So someone
Oh,
took it
wow.
from me. So I had to get
That's
in the ceremony without the T-shirt. I remember that, but it was
wow.
such
Bloody
a
hell.
long time ago. Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned how you beat up the speed in the last 300 meters. Is that where would you say that's where a race can be won and lost in the last 300 meters of the 1500?
Yeah, I think that this is a distance that if you are fit, you can change. If you are not fit, you can
Mm,
maintain the speed, and it's not enough to win. So,
mm,
and I always like. I don't know why I during my career there I typically change the pace in many races from that point onwards. I don't know why, but this I think that
mm,
there's some people like Medibala who did the same.
mm.
You remember Medibala
Yeah,
from France? He was European champion
good
twice,
runner.
and he was bronze Olympic medalist and also world medalist in outdoor. And, I don't know why, yeah, but I used similar tactical in Barcelona in 2010 as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you after this juniors was you even though you got the bronze was you thinking athletics is harder than I expected?
Well, in fact, it changed my view of athletics in a positive way.
Mm,
In the way that I did not know what to do afterwards,
mm,
so I could focus more on studying. For example, I tried to study an engineering, but then I realized from that championship that I could manage to do better during
mm,
an athletics career. So I decided to leave the engineering studies, start to study sports sciences, which was a more suitable career to combine it with an athletics career, and this is why so it made me realize that I could be an elite athlete in the future.
mm. And so in 2005, we had the European indoors. In your countries, so how was that like? Was you a bit gutted just coming fourth, and you're seeing obviously Juan Carlos and Reyes, they both medaled. How was that for you to
Yeah, it was hard.
yeah.
It was hard. There was a very good race in the middle in 2002. I was sixth in the World Championships in under 20 World Championships in Jamaica in Kingston. So I could see Usain Bolt running
Nice.
when he was 15 years old, something like that. He won the
You're running 400 meters back then.
200 meters. He
Oh,
won the
200.
200 meter race. Yeah, and that was very important also for me because I could be sixth. Nick Willis was fourth,
Yeah,
and
Nick Willis.
one Moroccan guy won the race, and there was some Kenyans that I could beat too, some good ones. And then in 2005, I just say the championship was at the indoors was in Madrid. So it is the place I was born. So it is the place I was living, and I trained for most of my career, for all my career. And was very special for me and special championship for me because of that. And I could have all my family watching me, cheering up for me. And well, I was very, very nervous before the race, and I wanted to win the race. I didn't see another option, but Ivan Hesco was there also Juan Carlos Higuero, Reyes Estevez, and I pushed the pace in the 400 meters very hard in 57 or something like that, and on my own. And Hesco was just behind me, and from that point onward, from the 400 meters, he passed me and kept pushing. So he could beat the European Championship record. I remember. And then it was very, very hard because I tried to follow him all the time, and the two other Spaniards followed me, and then they firstly Higuero passed me, and then I was fighting really, really hard with Reyes in the last straight. So I tried so hard, but he passed me just in the last meter. So it was, and I fell down from the ground. It was hard, but at the same time, it was the first big championship that I was competing at for my country, representing Spain, and I remember I have a very good memory from that because I was also happy for that fourth finishing position in the end because I never was in a big final race before, so I fought hard and I was proud of my effort. So it was okay. It was nice. Yeah.
That's what's going through your head when somebody passes you? What's that thought process like?
Yeah, it's very kind of you're fighting, you're giving it all, and then you get a little blocked, like you can't push anymore. So and that guy is passing you, and you try, but at the same time, I think that this is a process that makes you very, very tough mentally. So if you overcome to these situations, then you get stronger mentally, and then the next time you are able to endure that, or maybe if you are in a better position, for example, you are behind someone, you can pass it very easily. So it's part of the training process. At the same time, I think it's a very tough mental moment, but if you overcome to it, it makes you very it can make you very strong.
Make you stronger, yeah. And then obviously you won the under 23s.
Yeah.
Oh, how was that for you?
Yeah, in Erfurt, you mean, no? That European Championships in Erfurt, no? Yeah. I won that race. I was very confident because I had run before like 3:35. So I was a favorite in the final. I also had won before, like 2 weeks before. I won the Mediterranean Games against Adil Kaut, who was silver medal afterwards.
That was in Spain as well. The Mediterranean, Spain.
So I was so confident, so I stayed in the front of the field all the time, and I could handle some of my rivals tried to pass me, so I accelerated the pace and didn't let them pass me throughout the race, and I could resist quite easily these attempts of passing me, and in the end I could sprint in the last straight, and I could win easily because I don't know, if I remember well, the second best runner in the field had run before 3:38 or something like that. So I had 3 seconds, and I won some important races before, so I was very confident. It was quite easy race for me because I was running in the senior level in that time. I was winning big races, and I could win that race. Yeah.
So even though you won the under 23s, what you ran was obviously the time, because of the field and stuff. The time was slower there than what you ran in the seniors for the Europeans. So did that really show you the kind of levels between obviously the under 23s and the seniors with the timing?
Yeah, that's it. Especially in that year, because there has been, for example, 2 years before, I was 7th in that same championships. There was a guy from France who had run just before the championships in 3:32. So it depends on the year of the championship. So that year, not many people had run faster than me. Just like 3 seconds slower, the second one. So yeah, there is a huge difference usually from the senior between the senior and the under 23 level.
Yeah. And then in Helsinki, obviously you had the world champs. You came 5th. Rashid Ramsey, he got the double, the 8 and 15 double. Like, how was it like running against him? Like, how good was he in his prime?
Well, I was very, very confident that year. I was 22 years old, and I also had won the nationals, the senior nationals championship against Reyes Tevez, Juan Carlos Higuero, Sergio Gallardo, and I won the first race. I remember in Helsinki. Then I was second in the semifinal. I was pushing the whole race all the time, and then I was passed also in the last meter by Adil Kaut, and it was a very hard race because it started quite slow, but then when we were in the 700-meter point of the race, you remember Alan Webb, the US runner who is the US mile record by now even, and he ran
Roy Silva as well.
No, he he never did so great during championships. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I bet
him.
him that time,
Yeah.
and he pushed the pace. He changed the pace when we were in the 700-meter point of the race. So it was so crazy that shift that he passed. He ran 3:37 the first 300 meters from the 700 to the 1,000 meters, something like that, or something. No, in the 800 meters, 700 meters to go, he changed the pace. So from the 800 to the 1,100 meters, he ran in 30 seconds. The 300 meters, and then we had one lap to go. So he killed many people on the way, even him. And I was back, so I could not follow him. So it was kind of a good thing for me because I did not get so exhausted from that change of pace, and then I was like overcoming people in the last lap to get a fifth. But in any case, I was overcome by Rui Silva, who was third in the end. And I saw Ramsey was so far away.
Yeah.
I could not reach him. He was 1 second and a half ahead of me in the end. I could not.
3:37.88.
Yeah. And I ran 3:39 or something like that, no, if I remember well. Yeah.
Yeah, you ran 3:39.45.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like 1 second and a half, something like that. And it was so fast. Like the last 700 meters of the race because of Alan Webb.
Yeah. So it's funny you're talking about the changes of pace and stuff like that because you run a 3 and 3/4 laps. Are you one of them? Are you always looking at the clock after a lap? You always looking to see where you're at?
No, never. During the race, never.
Yeah.
I just look at the clock when I was training, not never during the race, because you are looking at you have to. I think that you have to focus on your feelings, not on the clock. Sometimes you feel it's very hard. Sometimes it's easy, and even you are running hard. But the most important thing for you is that it is easy, so you can follow that pace. So it depends a lot also on your fitness level or your shape. So I never used the clock, for example, during a race. I always run without a clock. Only when you need to qualify during a qualifying round. Is in those races you can watch the clock, because sometimes you can qualify by time as a fastest losers, position.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So in that case, you can watch the clock, but not in other. I think. Well, if you are looking for a specific time in a long distance race, also you can, but it is not typical from championships, from a final race during a championship. During championships, so they are different type of races.
So in 2006, obviously you had the World Indoors. Was that a bit frustrating not making it out of the heats?
Yeah, I was injured, and I have an Achilles tendinosis in that year, and even tried to compete in Moscow in 2006. But it was a mistake. I shouldn't have tried. I should have tried to recover from my injury, but still I tried to compete there, and I was not in shape because I could not train for a while, for 1 month and a half, something like that, before the championships. Could not train properly.
And you went because it was a world champs. Is that why you went?
Yeah, I tried. I always try, and I was very young, and I was I was 23 for that time, and you see that it's another opportunity, a world championship opportunity. I was not very experienced, so I made the wrong decision to go. But I was not in shape, and this is why I couldn't qualify even for the final.
Yeah. So when you I wanted to ask, when you get knocked out of the heats, are you watching the rest of the tournament? Are you watching the semis and the finals, or are you just like I don't care anymore sort of thing? Or
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
so when you got knocked out in the heats, are you watching the rest of the tournament, the semis, or are you just not interested anymore?
No, I was so disappointed with myself that I didn't want to watch it.
I'd be the same.
Yeah, I just wanted to go to the hotel and was so disappointed in that time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you obviously the Europeans that year you got fourth again. What's it like getting all these fourth places, fifth places? Are you thinking, okay, now I need a medal now. I need a medal.
Yeah, it was hard. All the time it happened the same, and in that time I could recover. I kept injured for 1 month and a half, something like that. I was injured for 3 months, something like that, and I could not prepare that year. That year was not a good year because I always tried to train for a long time but couldn't do it properly. And then from May, if I remember well, from the middle of May I could start training. And then I had like a couple of months of very good training, but only a couple of months. So I could not get the same level I got last year in Helsinki. So I was a different athlete. I couldn't even fight with Figuero, with Gallardo. And well, I beat Gallardo, if I remember well, in that final. But for example, I couldn't fight with against Bala and Hesco because and the year before I was fighting along with them, like at the same level, but not that year. And it was because I did not have a proper preparation that year due to the Achilles tendinosis. But at the end I could get a quite proper level. And I remember I won the semi-final in Göteborg. It was in Göteborg in 2006, the European Championships.
Yeah, Sweden.
And then in the final, Bala was way better than us, way stronger than us. So we did not have any chance against him. But in any case, I was happy because despite all what I had, I went through during the season. I could manage to be fourth. So again, I was happy despite being fourth. But as you say, again, fourth.
So do you think, in your opinion, was there any pressure on Bala because he was defending his title from 2002? So was he? So was there any? Do you think there was pressure on him, or if you're good?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, sure. He was the favorite. He won in 2002 the European Championships. Every one of us in the field thought that he was going to win that time, because if I remember well, he ran before that in 3:30 or something like that. I don't remember well. So he had the fastest time from among all of us, and he was very experienced on championship racing. So we expected him to win, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So from Spanish perspective, was Juan Carlos your biggest threat from Spain? Would you say?
Yeah, he was the most. I think he was the biggest rival I ever had as an athlete, especially in the Spanish context. But at the same time, we were good friends. So we were only rivals on the track. So afterwards, we could,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. And with 1500, how hard is it? How hard is it to train for?
Well, I can talk about my event. That this is about 1500 meters, so it's difficult for me to compare with other events. But I think it's a very tough event, especially in terms of the training process. So I think that 15, you have to be very fast, but at the same time you have to have a very very high endurance level. So you have to be very good at 10,000 meter events as well, and you have to run a very fast 800 meter at the same time. So it's difficult from the coach perspective to train it properly, because you can be very fast, but at the same time not well at endurance events. So you have to find the balance to get that extreme level at both sides. So it's very hard, because one day you are doing 2 times 6,000 meters in the field. The next day you are doing like 9 times 60-meter reps on the track.
Wow.
You have to combine all the capacities. At the same time, you have to do a huge amount of strength work at the gym. Well, it's hard. You have to do long runs, very long runs, like 20 kilometers every week. You have to do a decent mileage, like throughout the year. I think it's a very hard event to train, but I cannot compare with other events. Of course, all of the athletics events are hard at the end, because you have to put your body to the limits all the time.
And yeah, so 2007, I think that's a special European indoors for Spanish middle distance running, isn't it? The 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. No injuries from my side. I was preparing it really well. I was in really, really good shape, but Juan Carlos was better than us, and especially from a tactical point of view. He took the lead from the beginning. He didn't let us pass him. And I was like struggling to get a better position all the time in the final race. And Gallardo was also in front of me. He is also a good friend of mine. And I couldn't pass them and I was like fighting with other athletes, like trying to pass them, and then they pass me again, and losing a huge amount of energy. Did not run well that race. In any case, we managed to be 1, 2, 3. I was third. I got the bronze medal, and it was very special because the three of us are very good friends, and we could celebrate it. And then Sebastian Coe gave us the medals, and it was a very special moment for us in Birmingham. I really enjoyed it. I think the nicest memories from athletics, maybe the nicest, maybe one of the nicest memories, are from that championship. Not only from my medal, but for the teamwork we managed to do as for our country. So it was great. Yeah.
And did you speak to each other before the final and said we have the 1, 2, 3?
Well, we were clearly better than the rest of the field before the race in terms of personal best or season best times. So everyone expected us to have a real chance of getting the 3 medals, but at the same time, this is something very, very difficult to achieve.
Yep.
Everything worked well during the race, apart from my tactical mistakes, and we could manage to do it. So it was special. Yeah.
Going back to outdoors. So in the final, there's 12 of you running. If you go into the last lap and you're, for example, if you're not in the top six, are you ever panicking? You're thinking that's a lot to do.
It was very difficult, a very difficult race from a tactical point of view because there were many runners. We were all of us a very similar performance level at that time. So you had, for example, there Bernard Lagat, you had Ramsey, you had Alan Wett, who had just run 346 and 330, 346 in the mile, and 143 even, 143 in 800 meter. You had Asbel Giprop, his first race in the World Championships, and the two Algerians who had one of them, I think Bukensa had run in 330 and
McLuffy.
No, McLuffy was not there. It was Bukensa and Fergalaine. Both of them are 330 and 331. So it was so hard, so hard. So it was that there was no one was superior to anyone, but we were the same. And if you see the results, so the Lagat was like 0.6 seconds ahead of me or something like that. You had the results there. I don't remember what, but something 0.7 seconds. It's like nothing. And I was 7th in the final.
Yeah. Osaka.
Sorry?
This is Osaka.
Yeah, Osaka, World Championship. You are talking about that race, no?
Yeah.
So I felt in the inside in the last lap and I couldn't move. I was trapped. So maybe, but if I would have moved to the outside, it could be so demanding for me to overcome them because they were at the same shape as me. So maybe the correct decision would have been to be on the front from the beginning, but at the same time, the race was quite fast because I ran in 3:35. So it was not a very slow race. So it just started very. It was hard. I think I ran well. I got this. It was the first Spaniard. We were three in the final. I was the medal was 0.4 seconds from me, and I think it was okay. But I got trapped and I got blocked in the not in the home straight, in the other straight, in the back straight. So I got blocked there. I couldn't move because I was in the inside.
Yeah,
but it's part of the game. So
that's part of the game. So what's that like? All the pushing and shoving. Does that excite you, or does it just you can't stand it?
Yeah, I think my best races were in final races. So I think that I handle well with the pressure, and the pressure makes me run faster. It was always like this in my career. I think this is a good point from me.
Yeah, and that I was just looking at the Osaka race. Obviously, you have Ramsey, Kiprop, Lagat. That's tough, man. The field is crazy, man.
Yeah, it was so crazy. It was very hard. I remember it was a very hard championships, but Lagat made it. He won 2 races. He won the 5K and the 5,000 meters and the 1,500 meters. So it was so strong that year.
Yeah. So so going back to 2005, what's it? How do you prepare for was it four championships in a year? Something like.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so young, so I was like very excited all the time of running at the top level. So it made me feel that every race was like a very important challenge for me, and I had always good feelings back. So I don't know, it's like there is a time in your life that you get that state, like everything. You can with everything. You can do everything. But you have to be very young, and you have to. But that was one of the time of. But then it never happened again. No, something like that. So I could race many times. Every weekend I had a very important race. I was in a very good shape all the time, and even improving because the race was a good feedback for me. So something like you mentally you get better and better. But thinking again about it, I never felt like this afterwards. For example, in 2007, yes, I was okay. I was running one good race, then the other was not so good. More. But in 2005, a good thing was that all the time I was running tactical races, so I did not push my body too hard. Because when you are running a mid race, you push too hard all the time to get the fastest time. But then in that tactical races, I moved well, and it was about changing the pace, and it was not so hard. So it let me get better and better. So I was not going all out all the time.
And in the 2008 World Champs, was it what? No, World Indoors. I mean, in Valencia. It's fourth place again. So
yeah.
So that's just like the 2006 Europeans. Juan Carlos beat you into third again.
Yeah.
So what's that?
Yeah, it was so hard for me because I wanted that medal, and against
that's two medals you could have got. Yeah.
Yeah, he passed me in the last meter. It was
It's always been close.
0.06 seconds of difference between him and he and me. It was so hard mentally because also it was a weird thing after the race that the Ethiopian guy who won, what was his name? You have there,
McConnell.
Yeah, he put one of his foot out of the track. So he got
disqualified.
For half an hour.
Yeah.
So
you had the bronze for about.
I had the bronze for half an hour, and then they took me it back again. But again, he won the race, so he should not have been disqualified. So I agree with that. But it was hard for me that I wanted the medal, and again I was. But it's part of the game. So I ran the best race I could run. I was in the back for most of the race, and then with 400 meters to go, I changed the pace so hard. I was second for a while. For like 300 meters, I was second. Then I got passed by another Kenyan and by Juan Carlos in the last meter. It was so hard mentally, but I ran a very good race. Thinking back about it, I'm proud of that race. So hard. I ran in 3:38 in indoors in that race.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
What's the Spanish fans like, man? They're crazy, man. The support I see is crazy, especially
they were shouting so loud in the last lap because they were seeing that I was in the front. Higuero was just behind me. We could have maybe even 2 medals in the World Championship final in Valencia. It was a nice memories too, as well.
Yeah, and obviously 2008, I was probably a bit. The Olympics.
Yeah.
It
was very disappointing. I did not get good shape for the Olympics. I did not get injured. I have no excuse, but I was not as well as other years. I did not run well in the semifinal. I was pushing the pace all the time. Well, I won the heat. But then the semifinal, I was pushing the pace, and there were very good runners in the field, and I all the time changed the pace to not let them pass me. and it was a mistake, tactical mistake. But in any case, I was not in a very good shape that year. I did not reach my top level as I did in previous years.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you said it's tactical mistake. How would you particularly run a 1500 meters? Is there just one lap faster than the other, or is it just what's your tactics? Would you say?
Well, I improved my tactical ability across my athletics career, and I firstly I like to push from the beginning and but without achieving a very fast pace. So I was like changing the pace all the time, not letting other rivals passing me. So it was it was a very demanding tactical from an energetic point of view. And then I improved my ability. So you see when I was European champion in Barcelona, I was like
Mm,
much better from a tactical point of view. I was like a little bit in the outside, but not
mm,
too much. And then I let other guys set the pace. I was just there, but not letting go and not letting pass many runners. Never got blocked because I was on the outside. So I improved. And depending on the race, I changed my tactics. So
mm.
my patient strategy, my tactical strategy. So it depends. I improve my ability across my
Mm.
career.
Yeah. And talking about improving your ability, improving the tactics, are you going into championship? Are you ever watching your opponents? So you might see someone and think, okay, I can go on the outside of him. This one, I might be on the inside. Are you ever watching your opponents run at
Yeah,
pace?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, when I was in the championship, I firstly during the initial stages of my career, I didn't look at others. I just focused on my own tactics and my own strategy. And it's what I said. I typically went in the front and just didn't I didn't let others pass in me and just did that. But then I started to change my tactical strategy. So if there depending on the athlete that was in the front, I did I did one or another strategy. So I slightly changed it. So for example, if there was someone who was on the lead that could be the winner or who was the favorite in the race, I just stay a little bit behind him and try to follow him more closely. And if there was someone who is not who wasn't going to win, I passing him sometimes and didn't care. So it depending on the person, on the athlete, I chose different strategies, but it's something that you develop, an ability
Mm,
that you develop with the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And have you ever ran past someone you've kicked on and thought, oh, I've done that a bit too early? Have you ever thought that?
Yeah, it was one of my mistakes, as I told you. I always got past in the last meter sometimes because I changed too early or changed too fast. Sometimes for example, in Barcelona, in the last 300 meters, I changed the pace a little bit, but no all out. So in the last straight, I could keep accelerating. So
Yeah,
no one could pass me there. I
yeah,
left some energy for that last straight.
yeah,
So it's experience.
yeah.
The experience with the experience you get better.
Mm. It's funny. You mentioned Barcelona because I was just gonna ask about. Obviously, Andy Badley was coming on your shoulder, and you kind of
Yeah.
you and you kind of held him off. So that was the experience which you're talking about. in terms of
that's
yeah.
it. I didn't let him pass me, but at the same time, I was not pushing I was not leading the race. I was a little bit on the outside,
Mm,
but without letting him. But for example, Reyes Tevez was in the inside. He got blocked. He got overcome by Badley, by
lovely.
me. Yeah. So
Hmm. Yeah, and I was watching that race earlier, and Steve Cram was saying how he had you as the favorite. So was you feeling like the favorite? Did you feel like the favorite at the time?
well, not really.
No.
Yeah, I felt I was. I knew I was stronger than the rest of the field because I was training so crazy for that time. So the best training sessions of my life were just before the championship. So I knew. But for example, I was second in the Spanish championship. I was beaten by Manuel Olmedo.
Almeida
Yeah.
got
Uh,
bronze. Yeah.
and the championship was held in Spain, in Barcelona. And
Mm,
everyone in Spain was talking about Olmedo and Reyes Esteve because Reyes Esteve is from Barcelona. And everyone was talking about them. No one was talking about me.
yeah, you're
No
from the
one.
other side, man.
Yeah, no one. And it was a very good position, positive position from my side. Had no pressure before the championship because everyone was talking about Olmedo and who was the Spanish champion and Reyes Esteve. So maybe other people was talking about me out of Spain, but not in Spain. So as I was listening to what people were saying in Spain, I didn't realize I could be
Mm,
considered as a favorite. So
yeah. So 3:42.74. Is that your best ever race? Would you
yeah,
say?
so yeah, yeah. I finished the last lap in 51 seconds, and
Mm.
I was so strong.
Are you saying, but are you saying that's your best race just because of the time and the fact you won, or do you think that was the best you've ever run? Literally, like you couldn't do no more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could do no more, and I think it's not only because of the time, but also because of the way I run tactically. I think I make no mistakes in that race. Most of the all the races I made many mistakes, but not in that one, not at that one. And I
Mhm.
think that is the reason for which I think is the best race I ever run. Yeah.
Mhm. And then 2013, the Europeans came fifth, I think, or sixth.
Yeah. I got injured once and again, over and over all the time. And then I could get a quite decent save in 2013, but and I could even run in 336 that year on the summer. In 2013, I was fifth in the European Championship, but I was not the same athlete anymore as previously. I could run in 339 at indoors, but I was not. I had not that same finish
Mm,
acceleration and strength. And I got injured so many times. I was 30 years old at that time. It's not an old age, but as I got injured for so many times, I was not the same. Never
yeah.
was the same.
And in 2013, you was with uh, Lewandowski in the final.
Yeah.
How good is he? How is he tough to actually run against because of his size and stuff?
Yeah, he's a very good competitor. I think he's a very he especially from a tactical point of view. So he runs perfectly. He's always in the place in the spot he has to be. So yeah, I admire him really. Yeah, he's very good runner. I think he's one of the best runners in the European history, and
he is.
he's demonstrating a very good shape all the time. For many years, he's consistent all the time. It's not easy what he's doing at all. It's very difficult. He's quite old, even,
He's still going now. Yeah,
and he's still there.
still
Yeah,
making it.
really,
Yeah.
really admire him.
Mm.
Sure, of course.
So, well, I wanted to actually ask if you were speaking with a younger middle distance runner, would and they was doing like 8s and 15s like Lewandowski, if you was coaching them, would you say, okay, focus on one event, or would you just let them just mix between? What
Yeah,
would
I
you?
think that firstly, a very good athlete, a true good athlete has to be him or herself always. So you cannot base a career on watching what other athletes do. You can see something of this can be a good option, or this can be something you can do, but you have to be yourself. So, for example, when I was in 2001 and I made this very fast change of shape in the 300 meters, I was showing my personality. So it was not other things. So you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself always. Then you can learn from others, but you can start from there.
Mm,
You have to show the best of yourself in the track, not to show the best of someone else.
yeah. So when you're running 1500 in the first 300 meters, what time are you aiming for, or does it just depend on the field and how fast the leader sets off? Is there a particular time you're aiming for?
When I was young athlete, you mean? Or
Yeah,
what?
when you was running and you was doing the 1500, obviously the 300 meters. Is there a time you're aiming for?
Ah, you mean when I was looking for a personal best or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that 109 or something like that, 1010 in the first 500 meters was a good reference,
Yeah.
typically. But if you went to 108, you were done. So you have to be very careful with the times. Yeah.
And what do you think of Inga Britsken right now?
Yeah, I can
He's
say the
crazy.
same as I said from Lewandowski. They are the best. Well, especially now, Jacob, he's the best.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's
Unbelievable.
amazing what he's doing. I really admire what he's doing, and I think that he's gonna be one of the greatest milers in the history. So I think he's doing so good, and I hope he will go near, at least very near to the world record soon. Yeah.
And how do you think a prime Arturo would have done against him?
Against him, if we
Yeah, you
run,
in your prime. Yeah, you
well,
from you from 2010.
yeah, I don't know. You never know. No, it's difficult to compare, but
Yeah.
I think it would have been very tough for him to beat me in that specific race. I was
Mm,
so fast. I ran in 144 in that year. So in that specific slow race, it was very difficult to beat me that day. You know,
yeah.
but I think that he would have pushed the pace earlier, so the race would have been different.
Mm,
So maybe he could beat me in that other way. So in that other way, if he would have pushed the pace from, for example, from the 400 meters point, it would have been very difficult for me to beat him. So
mhm.
it could depend the type of the race. You never know. Never know. You can. It's very difficult to compare. I what I only know is that I was in the best shape of my life, and that year it was very difficult to beat me. Yeah.
Mhm. So obviously that year, that crazy goal that the Europeans bronze European indoors. Are you pleased with what you've achieved? with your career? You're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I suffered quite a lot in the last
Mm,
stages of my career due to injuries, but you know what do I'm very happy. I'm very proud because I did it for what I did is what I did. So nobody can take it from me. So sometimes I do some speeches regarding doping in athletics, you know,
yeah,
and what I always say that it is very important that what you do is yours. So what I did in my career is mine. I mean, I did it with my own means, without being a cheater, without cheating any of my rivals. What I did is true, is mine. I always look at the mirror and say, well, I could do that. I could run in 332. I could run in 144. I could be European champion. It's mine. This is mine. Nobody can take it from me. So I'm happy with that. If I would have been, I don't know, bronze in the European Championships, I would have been also happy because it's mine, you know.
that's it.
And sometimes the athlete would have to. We give our youth, you know, we give
Mm,
everything.
mm-hmm.
Imagine that what you do in your athletics career is fake.
Mm.
It's very sad.
It's sad.
Has to be very sad. So you end up your career, and okay, you cheated on spectators, you cheated on I don't know, on, for example, the different brands or commercial that have supported you, sponsors. You
Mm,
cheated on even your family, or you cheated on your, I don't know, your coach, whoever. But you cannot cheat on you. You cannot cheat you. You cannot cheat yourself. So this is something very important, regardless of the results themselves. The most important thing is that what you do is true, is authentic.
yeah. Well said. Hey Arturo, thank you for talking to me, bro. Appreciate it. And yeah,
Okay, thank you, Xavi, for your interview. You are doing a great job.
thank you.
Keep
Appreciate
up
it,
with,
bro. Yeah.
keep up with
I-
that.
Thank you, man. We'll keep in touch though.
Yeah, we keep in touch. Good luck
Definitely.
with your interviews. That they
Thank
are
you,
great.
man. Thank you, man.
Okay.
See you later, bro.